What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast, where we talk about any and everything. Personal, old snaps and claps. It's a dang good day to talk about a few things. So let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast. I am so excited to have a super guest like this one that I have on today. I'm telling you, Mr. The one and only, Mr. Charles D. I was going to say your whole middle name, but I was like, I better not. Charles D. Clark. Don't give me your full government name.
How you doing?
I'm good. Blessed.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on your show. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to a great journey. Thank you.
Absolutely. Watching you has been really, crazy. Like, because when I see you, I see this tough, this bad boy, this, just out here doing his thing. Like, I'm fixing to beat you down. You step into my space.
Yeah.
But when I talk to you, it's more like this big old teddy bear, this great guy.
Yes.
So how in the world did you, well, before I go into that, let's just start back from the beginning of who you are and where you come from. Let the Morning Jam podcast fans know who Charles Clark is.
Thank you. First of all, give God the glory, and thanks for everybody for tuning in on my sister's phenomenal show. I'm a country boy from Virginia. I spent most of my life in Carolina, but I grew up. My father died when I was 5, when I was 6 years old. Actually, his death anniversary just passed, April 26th. That was very devastating to my life. I have a great mom, church going, so she did all she could do. But obviously, I was a hard head through pain, through absorbing different things from life. I did martial arts, played sports. I'm trying to keep my mind, away from the pain that I was going through as a kid.
Yeah.
But actually, it kind of backfired in a way, and it wasn't her fault, because when you get those games or extracurricular activities, you want your dad to be there. Go, son. Good job, son. I didn't have that. It was always my mom. When you see other kids having that, it makes you angry. You envy it. Eventually, I got to the streets. Left on the VA. Went to Carolina, and became a real bad boy. Joined a gang. I was a goon enforcer.
Wow.
I've seen things and been involved in things that most people can only imagine. I would tell you like this: if God wasn't a forgiving God, I had a one-way ticket to hell and gasoline draws.
Yeah.
But because our God showed mercy and is a forgiving God, obviously that's where I'm at now. And then when you enter that street life, there's only two ways out: prison or the graveyard. But then when you realize that once you go to prison, there's a third way out. It's a time to redeem yourself. So I always knew God, and when I ended up starting my prison bid, probably my third year into prison is when me and God really start communicating, or shall I say, I started hearing God, because God always tried to talk to me. Yeah. And near the end of my bid, my grandmother, rest in peace, Lucille Haley Clark. This is probably the most important part of my testimony, how I became an actor. And I want to make it clear to everybody: I didn't become an actor to be famous or try to be rich or for the attention. Trust me, I had enough attention and all that stuff in the street. Well, my grandmother didn't visit me the whole time until the end of my bid. So when she came there with my aunt and uncle, I was so excited. I didn't see my grandma, all these years. So my aunt came to me in the visiting room. She said, "Listen to me, nephew. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me." I said, "What's going on, auntie?" She said, "Your grandmother's dying." She's dying. She's got 3 brain tumors. She had dementia.
Oh, wow.
And right now, your grandma thinks that you're your dad. So you have to act like your dad. The doctor said anything that you try to make her think different, it will put a strain on her condition. So imagine me 2.5 hours looking to the eyes of my grandmother, who was dying right before me, and becoming the man that's already gone, which is my father, my hero.
Wow.
So I remembered all the things about my dad. My grandma was asking questions, and she was, just saying things that I had to respond to make her believe that I was my dad and I was there. Obviously, I did a great job at it because she was convinced. And then when my grandmother left, the CEO called me over to the desk and they do a shakedown every once in a while. Make sure you got no contraband or paraphernalia, whatever.
Right.
Uh, and he says, Clark, I don't know what you plan on doing when you get out of here, but you need to be an actor. That was an Oscar moment. At the
Wow.
time, it flew over my head. I'm an ex-gangster. I ain't think about no acting and stuff. I didn't, whatever. And when I got on 2009, February 18, 2009, August of that year, I landed my first role. The same year, I got out of prison.
Wow.
And I've been grinding since, from background to, small support roles and just learning my craft, studying, going to school for it. And here we are.
That's amazing.
Damn.
That is a great testimony. Like, seriously, that's really deep, and I love it. I know people really don't expect to do a lot of things when they're in a situation like that you were in. And as soon as they come out of that and they look at what God has brought them to, and they're really surprised. Was there ever a point where you like, okay, God, is this really, really happening for me? Am I deserving of this?
Yeah. Actually, it was Empire. That was when everything hit me with a ton of bricks. Now, a lot of people think that actually a lot. The people who just now come into my journey think that I just started right before Empire. But remember, I started in 2009. So I was doing stuff from the ID channel, TV One, whatever I can get. And I actually started off as an extra on Empire. I drove to Chicago 8 times, a 14-hour drive, 8 times, my own money, before I got upgraded.
So
well, technically 7 times.
What were you doing like for the extra in Empire? What were you doing?
It was a blur. You couldn't see me. Which was great because that's because of internal continuity. I was a street guy, Empire employee. You didn't see me. It was a blur. You couldn't find me. And I was ready to give up. I was like, God, probably 14 hours. I had a great job working, in the behavior as a behavior specialist. I'm just like, this is not going to. I don't see it happening. And God spoke to me, and my daughter at the time, she was a bit younger, of course, and she said, Dad, I believe in you. Go. She just kept saying go. So I went. So the 8th time, let me make the correction. It took 7 times. The 8th time I got the upgrade. The 8th time is when I went there, and they had too many extras on this particular scene where Sean's playback exhibit, his brother had died, or a guy like his brother. So everybody was coming to the hood or whatever and everything, Nelson and everybody, Andre. Long story short, the guy looked at me. He says, you the guy that come always from Virginia, right? I said, yeah. He says, wow. He said, we have too many extras. He said, I got to send some people home, a lot of people home, but you came the farthest, so I'm going to keep you. So we can put you in the front of the crowd somewhere, we got barbecue and stuff. There was a barbecue celebration, real barbecue, whatever. We could celebrate something to eat, chill. So I went over there and stuff. Then another guy came, and his name was Charles as well. And he said, man, I see you came out of prison or something, man. You big and buff, man. Like you could hurt somebody. I started laughing. I shared my testimony with him. And that's when everything changed, like right there. He was like, you need to be up there with Alvin.
Yeah.
Exhibit, love you, brother. This is his name, Alvin Jones. He don't mind. I was like, okay, Alvin. All right, whatever. So I get up on the stage. It took one of the original goons down, put me on stage, and we was on set for 18 hours that day, going to the early morning. And it was actually on Exhibit's birthday. So just a little, you can see me, with the goons like a new recruit or whatever. 2 weeks later, I never forget this. And I always give God the glory with everything I do. I was a briefly student with House of Cards, and I got upgraded with that. And yes, and that was like previously. But what happened was when we did that 2 weeks, I got a SAG letter with I was SAG eligible, and I was like, from what I've learned from my mentors, you have to be ready for SAG. And because you're eligible means you're ready. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know what to do. Then I get a call from Empire. They says, Charles, we want you to be one of the main goons for the entirety of Alvin's character. And I was like,
For real?
Okay,
Me?
it's time for me. Yeah. Starting to do a little dance. I can't dance, but my own celebration dance.
Right.
And from there, everything just blew up. And I'm humbled by it because I tell people all the time, sis, that opportunities are always next door. You have to go to them. I see people complain about, 2 or 3 hour drive, that's too far to go. I've driven 20 hours for a 2-minute audition.
It's crazy. But a lot of people don't really want to, they see where you are now, but they don't want to go through the process of getting to where you are. So a lot of people just want to just jump and shoot right on in when they don't want to do the work to even get there. So
exactly, they want to be a superstar. Well, I'm a celebrity. I'm to myself, honestly, the only celebrity that I recognize is God. That's my celebrity. Right. I look at other people as being great at their craft. Iconic and icons. I mean, they earned their, Denzel, the Will Smith, Tom Hanks, so forth. But I can't be them. This is my legacy, and I'm just getting started. I'll be 42 this year. Little of a late bloomer, but hey, Samuel Jackson, did it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And really, I mean, technically, I started when I was 29. But it takes this long. And then some people get blessed and they get, within a month or two, the right time, the right moment, the right look, and they just say that couple of words, hey, we want you. And that happens, but it's rare. Typically, when you're trying, your craft, you have to study, you have to become better. A lot of people just want to be an actor. So, I have a natural talent. And I'm telling you, they would get you canned anywhere in Hollywood. Natural nurses.
Yeah. You ain't ready.
Exactly. I've seen a lot of people lose out on doing this. So with me, I just try to become better, take good constructive criticism, learn my craft and arts, and just stay positive. And so far, that man upstairs is just doing some great things for me, and I'm humbly blessed, and hopefully I can bless others in the process.
Absolutely. So where did all of the inspirational speaking come into play into your life with? So, because I know that you are, I forgot what I was going to say now. Speaking, like you do a lot of speaking engagements, right?
Well, yeah, in the past I did, because my acting career started picking up, and then I was taking more classes. I kind of put it on the ice, but I'm still trying to get back into it because everybody's been requesting it. I went to a get together, and it was I forgot which church it was. It was while I was out of town on set, and I was just a featured, and somebody said, you need to share your testimony. So they said, go on social media, and because at the time, I'm like, social media is new to me. I did all these years in prison, and I started following these radio people and everything else. So I got on a radio show, Survivor Radio Christian Network, with the late Clark Garrison, who was one of my mentors. And when I did my first interview ever on there, the ratings were so high. Clark gave me a spot to have be on the show with a woman named Joyce, in her own show, and I had a segment called Real Talk.
Okay.
Real Talk. That was called Real Talk 30. So it was 30 minutes of inspiration. And that same year, we won Best of Show.
Wow.
So I got all kinds of requests. I was going to different places. It was how much you charge. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know about charging. I mean, yeah, I'm new. I'm still trying to bring my stuff into acting. And then I started just hey, whatever God puts in your heart, and it came pretty good at times. Sometimes I got some people try to we get that much money, we can give you this, but then your other social media page, you're doing other things, which was cool, but it wasn't about the money, so to speak. It was about doing God's work, because God will always take care of his children. Yeah. And I won, I think, thus far 8 awards. One which was from AT&T. Would really put my motivation, or what I say, transformational speaking is what I call it, in the limelight. So I went to Baltimore during the riot. Okay. Now I don't stay in Baltimore, but at the time my name was kind of getting out there, within the DMV community. They asked me to come up there and try to talk to some of the young kids or whatever. and with some other leaders and stuff. So I went up there, and I was actually up there when it first happened. I watched what happened. I was there, and there was Pastor Jamal Bryan and other leaders and so forth. I was there at City Hall when we went to Martin with the One Baltimore movement. You Google it; it's all in there. At the current mayor at the time, Mayor Bowser, I was with her, and it just took off from there. And but then once Empire came into the mix, I started getting independent film offers and doing this and others. I didn't have time for it. So what I started doing, using modern technology, when I could speak, I just do Facebook Live and then speak to people on there, and when I got a chance to do something here, that I did it. But I miss doing it because I miss when someone who's about to commit suicide or someone who's about to on their way to prison, and they come to one of my speaking engagements and they break down crying and says, you know what? I want to change my life. You know what? I want to live long. I don't want to take myself out. Or someone who's been raped or child molested and they forgave the person that did it to them because based on my inspiration. To me, that's bigger than any Oscar, Emmy, or any type of reward that you can get.
Yeah.
And I genuinely love to see people happy. I really do. So, and for that reason, that's my motivation. My motivation is to make people smile. So.
That's cool because the Morning Jam podcast actually started from Facebook Live. I was like, okay, God, what should I do? I want to be, because I'm an inspirational speaker as well. And I would say inspirational motivational speaker as well. And I was like, I started like from leaving my home to dropping my son off to school, to sitting in the parking lot at work and just having a conversation, just inspiring people about their day. It would start from Monday, it's Loving Monday, Tuesday, it's Too Blessed to Be Stressed Tuesday, Wednesday, it's Prayer Wednesday, Thursday, it's Impact, Friday, it's Fellowship Friday, and it was just that. So I know where you're talking about, where you're coming from, where a lot of people on Facebook, where you start and you see people and they all come on your Facebook Live and it was like, hey, your motivation to speak and it's just amazing. You're making my day better. When you pray with us, it's cool. We thank you for all that. And it was just really, really great just doing it. And I did it consistently for years. And then they were like, Crystal, you need to get a podcast. I was like, what in the world's a podcast? And then the Morning Jam podcast went from a Facebook Live to a podcast. So it's just really been a blessing with the motivational speaking and stuff. And I haven't did it in a while, like you saying, but I'm looking forward to getting back into it as well. So congratulations on that too.
Thank you. And to you as well. I mean, you're doing great things. I mean, let's not downplay what you do. I mean, when we first connected, and I always, when people connect with me and I connect with them, I have to make sure, I'm God approved and whatever. And there was no reserve. And then I saw what you was doing. I was like, wow. You were all about, even though you was on men of red carpets and doing your thing, but you was more about the people and God, giving God the glory. So I think that's exceptionally well. So congrats to you as well.
Well, thank you. I wouldn't say I come from a background as deep as yours, but I definitely come from a background where I had to really fight for my life, my insanity. And I just thank God for where he has placed both of us, just to not only have our names in light, but as being people to really motivate others and really inspire people to continue to grow, and especially become and leave that old thing and become into new things. You know what I'm saying? So it's really grateful, and I'm just excited. And so I want to congratulate you on your award, the Newsome Award. Congratulations.
I'm still in shock. I mean, 6 times in a row. Of course, it's the biggest award show in the DMV area. I remember last year we had Bobby Jones, the great, iconic Bobby Jones.
That's my buddy.
There, and then and then Everett Drake. Can't forget about his right hand, Everett Drake. Also Everett, he's like family. So this year for the 6th time, and I told Dr. Fred Newsome, shout out to Dr. Fred, who's a magnificent brother in Christ and leader in the community. I was like, I want us to win, really. I've tried to, not promote too much stuff because I was feeling people win, but I put it into work. I get up early every morning when people are asleep, when people go on to the clubs or pandemic, whatever they be doing.
Yeah.
I'm always studying my craft. I'm always networking. I'm so focused, and it's a blessing. And then you get the honor where, I never heard of this award, which they presented to me, Doctor of Acting. and I suspect because I got my honorary doctorate, for my work in Baltimore, and I use my platform as an actor to still promote the spiritual wellness, and uplifting people and changing lives and doing community work, such as yourself. So it's just an honor. I'm excited, but when I win, we all win. Just like when you win, your following wins, because we do it for God first, and we do it for them.
Yes, that's great. Congratulations. So I was just wondering about the Charm City Kings. Oh my goodness. I watched like the trailer. I haven't even watched that. So I was like, I need to see this. That was good.
What the Charm City King was a teaching moment for a lot of people. Again, aspiring to the craft. I was actually on another project, and somebody else was offered it, and so something happened with some kind of situation happened. They didn't know it was a Will and Didn't Pick a Smith movie or how big it was going to be. Right. It was a small feature scene. It was very small, but I tell you, no role was too small. So somebody from the cast recognized me from Empire, being a bad boy, Stein's main goon, and they said, "Look, it's not a big part, but it's an important part."
Yeah.
And I got there, some things politically wise behind the scenes as far as, working some things out, but God made a way. And my scene, which is in almost every trailer, I got even Will Smith, the scene was on Will Smith's IG page, which I got the screenshot, and it was amazing. And everybody was like, "Oh, Tom, we saw you. But it goes to show you too, if you have enough pebbles, you can build a mountain.
Absolutely.
And with Charles the King, I can relate to it. Being a young boy trying to find his way, you put it in an environment where your circumstances is not normal, and your way of normal, your way of accepting what's around you, sometimes can be making that mistake.
Yeah.
But I'm back to see it though. I mean, it's I ain't gonna tell you.
Yeah, don't tell me. I gotta watch it.
I will say one thing. Meek Mill, because we don't expect him to be like a great actor in a way. I mean, we know he's a great rapper or whatever, but he killed it. I mean, you saw a side of him that was sentimental. Remember, I told you that.
Yeah.
I want you to think about the Meek Mill as the rapper, and then put that on the back burner, and then watch this movie. Yes.
Yeah, because when I was watching the trailer, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta see this. This is some good stuff." So, and that's what draws the people, like, especially when they relate to a show or a movie or a short film and stuff like that. That's what it draws them. So it definitely drew me into wanting to see the movie. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. And it made history. It was the most viewed first time streaming project on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been a part of a lot of projects that's made historical moments and everything. So again, I'm so grateful. I can't see myself I'm Charles D. Clark. Bet on to me, man, whatever. I bet on to God. That's the only person I bet on to is God. And with me. Again, we all in it together. I have a hashtag that I use. You ever hear this before? You've been in the entertainment business, light, camera, action.
Yeah.
Well, my hashtag is light, camera, unity.
Nice.
Because I believe in that moment when the lights are on, who are really there for you, and y'all in the same aligned purpose. I tell everybody, like the human body, hand and feet are different.
Yeah.
But they are part of the human body, the anatomy. So who is your spiritual anatomy? That's keeping you walking, to grab the right things, to walk the right places, to see the right things, to speak the right words.
Yeah.
And God put people like us. The Bible says, "Many was called, but few was chosen," and here we are. So.
Yeah. So what do you think about like your followers and your fans that comment on your posts or your pictures or your parts of your shows? What do you think about that?
You know what? Before I get, I'm straight up and I'm raw with it. But I'm gonna say that no one have ever asked me that. You're a very talented interviewer. That was phenomenal. So this is what I'm going to tell you. A lot of them are my supporters, but as a group, they are surveillance.
Right.
You know I'm going with that, right?
Absolutely.
There you go. Because I have people, I have people that really don't comment all the time, but they know everything that I do. They text me, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
They genuine with it. Then you have people, they go overboard, like 5,000, oh, blah, 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 because they're trying to convince you so much that they're so much your top supporter, but they're the ones actually trying to see, who you connected with or what can you do. And I used to get mad and upset of like, man, I built these connection networks, driving thousands of miles, spending my money. You think you should come overnight and just try to, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
But then God said, don't worry about that because I'm your insurance. And if anybody who feeds into what they're doing shouldn't be connected to you anyway. So
Absolutely.
9 times out of 10, yeah, it's just, it's, I tell some people, if you're going to be a villain, be good at it. At least try to be good at it. What
Right.
makes you think when you go to my agent or manager, shout out to my manager, the iconic Tiffany Gaines, her king, Demetrius, what makes you they're not gonna come back and tell me. Like I
Right.
already know. You can't sneak. We go way back. I'm talking about I'm gonna anything to get ahead of me. If I can't get it the right way, I don't deserve it. So
Yeah, I have one of the tweets that's on here. It says it's from Bobby G. It says to A. Clark, which is you, C. Clark, I'm sorry, C. Clark. And
yeah.
it was Empire Fox that got me following you, but it's your positive outlook that keeps me here. You see the good in all. I was
No
like,
wonder you
oh,
wanted to
that's
talk.
so
Oh man, you good. You
dope.
phenomenal. Wow, brother D Wade, superstar. That's my brother. Shout out to D Wade. That's my guy. Yeah, and those tweets, my spiritual hunger, that's what fills me up. To me, that's like a lobster or shrimp
Mhm.
or filet mignon when I get stuff like that.
Oh, don't be
It
talking
makes me
about no
feel so
shrimp
great.
now, Clark. That's one of my favorite foods there. Get me some shrimp.
Me too. I'm a great you know, guy, yeah. And it's a humbling experience from gunfire, and I see people getting their heads blown
We're losing
off
connection. You're like a robot over here.
and watching people, getting
There you
kidnapped,
go.
because the world where I come from, you don't get blocked. Can you hear me now? You
Yes,
good
it's
now?
good now. Yes.
Okay. The devil is a liar. Um, so yeah, so with me, I come from a place where it was violent. You don't get fired, you don't get blocked, you don't get deleted. You get your head blown off. So
Oh,
when you come from an environment, your loyalty and you as a person is everything.
mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons why I'm still alive right now is because I did right. I was doing wrong, but I mean, as far as street politics, you know what I'm going with that.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I just want to see people to be in the newspapers for academic achievements, for entrepreneurship, for getting awards. I don't want to see people in the obituary section. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever I can do, we can't save everybody. We really can't save nobody. The only person we save, you can get to save
It's
yourself by going to God.
right.
Yeah, but if we can be the advertisers, eternal life, God gets the glory, believe in Him. These things is what people need, not they're playing people. Well, what you did in the
That's it.
past or what you're doing there. And it's like people already know what they're doing. My tactic, my spiritual tactic is to acknowledge the greatness that people don't see in themselves.
Oh
I
yeah.
have to remind them of their tribulations. That's why we're talking to them. We know they're going through something. So
Yeah.
how can we deflect that? And first, let me say this right here, and I always just to a couple of people. Some people are motivational people. Some people are transformational. You are transformation. I'm gonna tell you why. Some people are only blessed to extend their craft to a certain limit because they have not graduated to that level of understanding of how to change or help a person change their life. And just like myself, you have the ability to actually change people or somehow to change. What I mean is when I say transform, I can motivate you all day. Doesn't mean you're not going to change. But when you have people say, sister, I stopped doing a certain thing. Sister, I started praying more. Those are actual changes. Those are actual, dimensions that are elevating. You're just not sitting there and says, well, yeah, sis, see, yeah, I heard a podcast. I heard stuff on social media. Yeah, but that's it. But when they tagging you, this sister right here, I'm about to go off and get married, but some told me that my God, just give the glory and don't give the devil the time of day because this sister right here, that's an actual change. So yeah, I'm gonna let you know.
I never thought about it that way. I really hadn't.
Exactly. That's why in the hospital you have people that prepare surgery.
Yeah.
And you have people that perform them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a word.
Good. That's a word.
That's a word.
That was good. So, I love that.
My analogies, and again, I'm not shooting my own horn, but God bless me to use analogies because everything that happens in life, whether it's nature, whether it's through technology, there's always something you can learn from it.
Absolutely.
If you pay attention. Now, I tell people, sometimes you have to listen with your eyes. That's deep. And whoever's watching, well, that's why you got ears. Sometimes it's with your eyes. Yeah. Go to God about it. I'm gonna tell you what God told me to tell y'all.
Yeah, because sometimes people just close them ears because they don't want to hear, but they can see everything.
There you go.
There
you go.
I got you.
There you go. It
is amazing. I love it. But I definitely don't want to keep you because I can keep you forever and learn from you because I know that you are you finished with your classes or are you still continuing your classes? Are you still in Harvard or what's going on in that?
So the Harvard was during when the pandemic first started. They offered classes. I mean, the one they offered some that was free, some you had to pay for it. And what I did was, of course, you had to pay for it. And right now, I'm attending and doing a course at Juilliard right now.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. And again, during the pandemic, I was trying to tell a lot of people during the pandemic that a lot of these big accredited acting courses and workshops was giving people a way to come in to help them cope through the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
There was no excuse for no actor out there who says, oh, it's hard to get in this. Well, I couldn't do that.
Right.
It was all over the thing. So if you didn't take advantage of that, that's on them. I just know that I use the pandemic to try to better my craft.
Wow.
But I'm always thinking of stuff. I have, people in my circle. Shout out to George Dibble and Candace, who's also, the Volcom of Origin. That's the filmmakers for Volcom of Origin in the West and all of them. And my sister Gemma, who's an extraordinary actress. I got to connect y'all too. She's doing big things. She's on, Power. I mean, all that stuff. Yeah, as yesterday. So I learned in class, and I learned from people who inspire me and mentor me. So
in that, who has inspired you the most to be where you are today? Who has that been for you?
Everybody, I would say everybody played their part. Because, for instance, like I said, Terrence Howard Taraji, that was the first two people that I really like as actually like watching on screen, all the way back to Hustle and Flow and everything else. So when you see something like this, the Felicia Rashad, the Cosby Show, and you see everybody that I basically was inspired by some kind of way was all Empire. It was a big blessing. I mean, Empire brought all the legends back,
Yeah,
Alicia Keys, Snoop, Empire fans know what it is. I'm inspired by, I'm inspired by you. and I tell people this, when you give us artists a platform to share our testimonies, to share our journey, You don't have to do that. And a lot of people think, well, if it's not Oprah, if it's not, the Tamara Hall show, whatever. Look, let me tell you something. Anybody that sees something great in you, inspire you worth of that platform, you should be thankful and grateful.
That's what I think too, because I think when the pandemic happened, a lot of the mainstream singers like the Kirk Franklins, the Erica Campbells, a lot of the actors and all that, they came actually, a lot of people came off their, I wouldn't say high horse, but they came down and just really communicated with a lot of the, I would say, ordinary people. I
would say reality set it in very clearly.
Absolutely. And
I'm hear with their eyes.
For that. Yeah. I'm grateful for that because sometimes people get in their own lane and say, okay, you can't come in this lane because you're not doing this, and you can't come in this lane because you haven't made it to here. You're not here with us. You're not in the same clique or anything like that. So I'm really glad that it happened that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been through it. I mean, when I first started getting, into, the radio stuff and motivational speaking, transformational speaking, I was coming to people, hey, can I come to your show? We're booked right now. You got to pay us a fee. Oh, talk to my assistant. I said, one day, as soon they saw me on Empire, and then, hey, Charles, we'd love to have you. I said, you got to pay. Talk to my assistant. Oh, I'm too booked right now.
Yeah.
You don't have to curse them out. You don't have to badmouth. Your success, you being who you are, will kill the demons that doubt you. And I was always an underdog. People respected me. They had no choice because of my background and where I come from. Mm-hmm. But I never, even in the streets, I never portrayed myself to be like this tough guy. It was one of those things that if you cross the line of the people that I messed with, we had a problem. But I've never, I had a giving heart. I was blessing homeless people with food and money. There was people who could pay their lights. I was helping them with, so I always had a great heart. So the only reason why I would give back to that person, or even remotely close, is you mess with somebody that I love. Then we have a problem. You can forget about Hollywood, you can forget about all of that stuff. But other than that, I have to make peace. And I think that's where we mature at. And I always been transparent on social media with my lives, my posts, even my speaking engagements, and on the red carpet. I never said I'm Charles D. Clark, I'm a perfect person. I will say right now on your show, I am a sinner. And I'm imperfect. And I'm still working on me. But I would never hurt nobody. And one thing anybody can tell you about Charles D. Clark, if I ride with you, I'm going to ride to you till the wheels fall off. And the wheels fall off, I'm going to help you pick them up and carry them where we're going. That's just me.
That's cool.
Simple.
So I have this last question, and this question it's been all over the world, and now it's back here on here. So what do you think about the Will Smith and Chris Rock slap? What do you think about that? And even now we're hearing the Dave Chappelle attacker that's then ran on stage. Like, what is going on? What do you feel about that?
Well, I will say this right here. The old me responded as if Will would even attempt to do that to me, his head would have been rolling on the floor. That would have been the old me. I think any man. The old me. We can go with Dave Chappelle. Same thing. But from a different perspective. I think we have beaten Will up enough. There's people out there who done things way worse than Will. They have not gotten caught yet.
Absolutely, in the light. I agree.
This is a time for healing. I don't want to be a part of the downplay because look at the things that I did in my past. I did worse things than smack my own brother.
Right.
I did things worse than that. You know what I mean? Guns blazing.
I punched my sister in the gut and she didn't even see it coming. I just laid her completely down on the bed.
But that's what I say about it. So let me respond with this. This is a teaching moment. Environment changes the circumstances and perspectives of life.
Absolutely.
If you'd have put your sister in the gut at the Oscars, you would be the same person as Will.
Absolutely.
And Will wasn't Will and Chris. It was two people at 7-Eleven. No, I know we're just brothers. But because, and I think too, we have to respect to Will, and I'm going to get with Chris. Will have done so much good as an actor and promoting. Like, come on. There's a lot of actors who done stuff way worse than that. To Chris Rock. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
I think that he rode that train too much of picking on Will and Jada. He did it to Oscar before. There's some other people he could have picked on, but he didn't deserve to get slapped.
Yeah.
Will was wrong, but I love Will and I love Chris Rock. I hate neither one. And I go ahead and put out there, but like I said, with Justin Smollett, yes, he was the main reason why Empire got canceled. Mm-hmm. But we have to pray for him. We have to pray for these people.
Absolutely, yes.
Nobody come in this world to hate, to backstab, or whatever. At some point, though, you have to be accountable for what you do.
Absolutely. But I think it's to a point now where I can say enough is enough. Like, surely he's learned his lesson. But for me, I wish Will had done is like this, like I see you, or something from his seat, and then afterwards, then shook little Chris little tail up. But I was like,
that was leaked out. That was leaked out where he actually told Chris right before the Oscar started. Man,
really,
it's on YouTube, and Chris still did it because it was written. But when you are a genius, a creative genius, Chris Rock, you can improv. Me personally, Chris said he knows nothing about Jada's situation. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not guys. I don't know everything. I do know, in a way, I can see Jada doing D.I.J.
Me too. I said she would be so bomb at it.
That could have been, so again, there's so many perspectives. What might be sweet to somebody else might be bitter to another person.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that hurt me about that, it took away from the Will Pack historical moment. And what's the guy from The Roots? Oh my God, what's his name?
It makes me want to Google.
Yeah, I know. Is there some? Is it Q? Oh, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Forgive me.
I think
it's the drummer. Yeah. I think his name is Quest. Questlove? Is it Questlove?
Hold on. My phone. Questlove, yes.
There we go. Yeah, Questlove. Yeah, and that brother has been the underdog for a while, and a lot to me because he has made some of the best music and orchestras and things behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. So to see him to deal with that and other people, that Oscar night was what they call Oscar so white, and yeah, how they have these social media lingos, or again when we talk about Black Lives Matters. I mean, how do Black Lives Matters when we killing each other? So
right. I agree with you.
When you see Will Smith smack Chris Rock, it was just the wrong time. But we healed from it. The guy from Dave Chappelle got what he deserved.
Oh man, he was messed up. Ooh.
He got famous for the wrong reason. Yeah, he got famous for the wrong reason. People understand something. Just because you're a comedian doesn't mean you're soft.
Absolutely. And
I'll use an example. Charlie Murphy, rest in peace. Charlie Murphy, late Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
Charlie Murphy about that life. Black belt martial artist, Eddie Murphy who had his back. It was it was his brother. Charlie Murphy was that guy. Okay, so he was a comedian. But at the end of the day, I hope that we can heal from these situations. When everything's put in front of the world, you're gonna get mixed reviews, mixed emotions. People say Will should be canceled and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I was like, that's crazy. That's just out of this world and too much.
Yeah, I mean, y'all wrote this man's coattail all the time. All of a sudden now, But if Will Smith would offer you a role in this movie, I promise you,
I'm right here, Will. I got you.
Your side. Yeah, Will. I would stop them too. And if Chris Rock would offer him something in his movie, Chris, I would have had your back. That's keep it real. Like that's call what we would have called it. If it quacks as a duck, So
yeah.
But I pray for them, and we keep it moving. But I'm like you, stuff like that, I would have put them to the side. Like, hey man, last time. We needed to know. But And my thoughts on Jada, well, I say it like this right here. If you have that much influence on Will, it should be for the greater good, not to make him look like the end of him embarrass himself and put a tarnish in his legacy, because that's one thing that would never go away. That would be forever, ever cemented, that moment. So,
and one thing for me, Charles, too, I'm one to where I know, and this is like personal, I have worked hard to where I am now, and I know people have worked hard to where they are, and especially you, where you are. I am not one to come and be like trying to destroy, like, because you have worked hard to be where you are today, and that's just not my character. that's not.
And it's sis, you know what, sis? I agree with you. And you know what was even the most saddest thing outside of that? Will won the Oscar that night.
Absolutely.
All these years, everything he has done, and you're like, man, you robbed yourself too, not as other people, because he was laughing at first, and she gave him that look.
Mm-hmm. Like, get him.
Then you would bring some red table talk. Oh, God bless Jada too. I mean, I can't. I mean, I was in their movie, and I just hope everybody heals from it. We can move on, and you got some people who keep on making jokes about it, and just go way too like, okay, we get it now. Let's heal and move on.
It's over.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate you, Charles. You got me studying. I'm so excited. And I'm grateful to have you, because when I seen you on Empire, I was like, man, that dude is good. He's bad. That's the guy. And then
I'm a pretty bad boy. Yeah. Yeah. But it's all God though. and it's mutual, because I've never thought I'd be where I'm at now, based on where I came from. So I'm blessed. And I give God the glory. So I appreciate you for having me, the whole G-Wade family. Me and G-Wade, we met, on the set of I always get the numbers wrong, 30331. With Sister Jay Nance, and he interviewed me, and that brother just as genuine as any brother could be. So, and matter of fact, I'm supposed to be coming to Atlanta soon. So definitely, we all got to connect and link up. I told the same thing, but I'm telling you, sis, don't change who you are. Keep going. The only time you should change your route of your destination is God changing the GPS. Don't let nobody else change it, because you are on the right path.
Thank you.
And I salute you for that.
Awesome. Yes. Well, let the people know where they can connect with you, get you for an interview, and all of that wonderful stuff.
Of course, you can Google my name, Charles D. Clark. Instagram is Charles D. Clark 1980. On Twitter, it's #Inspired, the number 7. And on Facebook, it's Charles D. Clark. On LinkedIn, it's Charles D. Clark, because my SEC after card, it says Charles D. Clark. That's what it is. You might find me somewhere, if not in the gym or in the box or training or whatever. You might see me somewhere, I don't know, in the streets. But don't be, don't be scared or timid to holler at me. Don't think I'm really a great guy. I mean, I have my faults. I have my things that I deal with as well too. But I genuinely love people, and I would say this, that you definitely understand this. The fans, supporters who tune in to the podcast, who watch the TV shows, who pay them their tickets, some of them who barely make it, spend their last dollar to see us, to do what we do. You can't deny that. You can't. So I'm grateful.
Awesome. I appreciate you. And you've heard it right here with your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker, right here on the Morning Jam podcast. And we are out of here. Thanks, Charles. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a blessed one.
You too.
If you enjoyed this podcast, tune in each week on thinkingoutloudnetwork.com. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends and family. Until next time, peace.